and 6 makes 28 pounds, 4 shillings. What do you want?
My fire is nearly out, sir, and I thought I would take 1 or 2 lumps of coal.
You think more of your personal comforts than you do of your business and my interest.
The room, sir, is very cold, and
Work, sir, work, and I warrant that you'll keep warm. If you persist in this wanton waste of coals, you and I will have to part. 4 shillings and 9 pence comes to...
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas? A humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then, what right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer, a time for balancing your books and having every item in them through a round dozen of months presented dead against you? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart, he should.
Oh.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited. I dare say Christmas among the rest. But I'm sure I've always thought of Christmas time, when it came around, apart from the veneration due to its sacred name and origin, if anything belonging to it can be apart from that, as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not just another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and will do me good. And I say God bless it.
Let me hear another word from you, another sound from you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come and dine with us tomorrow.
I'd see you in blazes first.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Love. The only one thing in the world more ridiculous than a Merry Christmas. Good afternoon.
Nay, Uncle, but you never came to see me before that happened. Why give it as a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel, to which I've been a party, but I've made the trial in homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon!
A Merry Christmas.
The same to you, and many of them.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and family talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to the lunatic asylum, I will.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner. At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses? Are they still in operation?
They are. I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth.
We chose this time because it is a time of all others when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, excuse me, I don't know that.
But you might know it.
It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with others. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
It is useless. We may as well withdraw.
God bless you, merry gentlemen, may nothing you dismay.
What do you want?
I want to sing you a carol, sire, for a penny.
And why, you miserable boy, would you presume to do that?
It's Christmas Eve, sir, and I'm an orphan. I must sing for my supper.
A little orphan boy all alone, out in the cold, wanting my money.
A little something, sir.
Be gone! I have none of your carols here. You want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier next morning.
I will, sir. You old skinflint. If I had my way, I'd give you Christmas. I'd give it to you this way. And now for a slide on cornmeal at the end of a later boys 20 times in honor of Christmas Eve. and then for Camden Town as hard as I could pelt.
Mr. Scrooge.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, sir.
What do you want?
A word with you, sir.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Christmas Day, sir.
I'm on my way home.
We barely got here from our own work. We can't leave it early, you see. We must speak to you.
It's urgent, sir.
All right. Speak.
It's about our final debt to you, sir.
See, our payment is due at the end of the week, sir.
Then pay it!
We can't, sir. If you...
And I'll see you in prison. Goodbye. Nobody under the table. Nobody under the couch. Nobody in the closet. Nobody nowhere. Marley's dead 7 years tonight. Impossible.
Scrooge! Scrooge!
Who's there?
Scrooge!
Humbug!
Scrooge!
What's that? It sounds like... Ghost. It's humbug still, I don't believe it. How now? Do I know you? Can you speak? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who are you then? You're particular for a shade.
In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Humbug!
You don't believe in me?
I don't!
What evidence do you require of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. You see this toothpick?
I do,
You're not looking at it.
but I see it notwithstanding.
Well, I have but to swallow this and be for the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins, all of my own creation. Humbug, I tell you, humbug! Oh. Mercy, dreadful apparition. Why do you trouble me?
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do spirits walk the earth? And why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and wide. Oh, woe is me! If his spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world. Oh, woe is me! And witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, turned to happiness.
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was full as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob. Oh, Jacob Marley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer Scrooge, and is conveyed by other ministers to the lands of men. Nor can I tell you what I would. A very little more is all that is permitted to me. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. No, my spirit never walked beyond a counting house, mark me. In life, my spirit never roamed beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole. And weary journeys lie before me.
You must have been very slow about it, Jacob.
Slow?
7 years dead and traveling all the time.
The whole time. No rest, no peace. Incessant tortures of remorse.
You travel fast?
On the wings of the wind.
You might have got over a great quantity of ground in 7 years, Jacob.
Oh, captive bound in double iron, not to know that ages of incessant labor by immortal creatures. For this earth must pass into eternity before the good of which it is susceptible is all developed. Not to know that any Christian spirit working kindly in its little sphere, whatever it may be, will find its mortal life too short for its vast means of usefulness. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life opportunity misused. Yet such was I. Oh, such was I.
You're always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, forbearance, mercy, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. At this time of the rolling year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Were there no poor houses to which its light would have conducted me? Hear me. My time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard upon me. But don't be flowery, Jacob, pray.
I will be flowery. How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see, I may not tell. I have sat invisible beside you many and many a day. That is no light part of my sentence. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. a chance and hope of my procuring, Ebenezer.
You're always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 12.
Couldn't I take 'em all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third on the night following when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. And look that for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
It is impossible that I could have slept through a whole day and far into another night. It is impossible that anything has happened to the sun, and this is 12 o'clock noon. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Oh, and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
May I make bold to inquire what business has brought you here?
Your welfare.
I am much obliged, but I think a night of unbroken rest would be more conducive to that end.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed, observe the shadows of the past, and profit by the recollection of them.
What would you have me do?
Come with me while memory recalls the past.
Good heavens! I was a boy. It's the old school, and it's the Christmas I was left alone.
You remember it?
Yes. I was reading all about Alibaba, dear old honest Alibaba, and the Sultan's groom turned upside down by the genie. Served him right. I'm glad of it. What business had he to be married to the princess? And the parrot, oh, green body and yellow tail with a thing like lettuce growing out of it, the top of his head. Poor boy.
Strange to have forgotten this for so many years.
I wish. But it's too late now.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something, that's all.
Fan, what are you doing here?
Well, I came to see you.
Well, here I am, and my desk at school while everyone else goes home.
I know.
Father says that my work is unsatisfactory. Then I neglect facts and hard reality.
Well...
He thinks I want to play games all the time, like a silly schoolboy, instead of learning to work.
Dear brother, listen to me. I've come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home.
I'm Fan. But, Father...
Yes, for good and all, forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That home is like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said yes, you should, and sent me back in a coach to bring you.
You did this for me?
We're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in all the world.
You're quite a room, little fan.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right. I will not gainsay it, Spirit, Lord forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, your nephew.
Yes.
Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here. Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again.
7 o'clock, Ebenezer.
Yes, sir.
I suppose you'll be wanting the whole day tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's fair?
It's only once a year, sir.
Well, sir, I will tell you this. You will not go home tonight. You will stay right here in this office. Do you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
You will stay right here and work. And I have someone who is going to work with you. And when you see her, you will understand how hard I mean you to work. Christmas or no Christmas. Come in, Belle. Ebenezer, do you remember your sister's friend, Belle?
How do you do?
Belle, this is young Mr. Scrooge.
How do you do, Mr. Scrooge?
Very well, thank you.
And how has my uncle been treating you, Mr. Scrooge?
Well?
Do you understand now, Mr. Scrooge?
No, sir.
My uncle is playing a joke on you, Mr. Scrooge.
No more work tonight. Up with the shutters, on with the lights, in with the family, in with the neighbors. Let's have some wine. Let's have some music. Let's have a dance. Hurrah! It's Christmas!
A small matter to make people so full of gratitude.
Small? Why? Old Fezziwig was one of the best men that ever lived. He never missed giving his employees a Christmas ball.
Why, is it not small? He spent but a few pounds of money, 3 or 4 pounds perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves your praise?
Well, it isn't that, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our services light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. Say that his power lives in words and looks, in things so light and insignificant that it is impossible to add and count them up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. Oh dear.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all.
It is not impossible that you may be learning something. My time grows short. Let us hurry. Do you remember this?
It matters to you very little to you. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed toward you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve upon our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you you were not what you are. I am. That which you promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life, another hope as to its great end. In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try and win me now? Ah, no.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise, if I could, heaven knows. When I have learned a truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? You, who in your very confidence with her, weigh everything by gain, or choosing her, if for a moment you were false enough to your one guiding principle to do so. Do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do. And I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. You may, the memory of what is past half makes me hope you will, have pain in this. A very, very brief time. You will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. Farewell.
Belle, hear me. Let me explain.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
O mortal, what a treasure didst thou cast away! She, whom you resigned for paltry gold, became the happy wife of your former schoolmate, Kemper. Behold now the tender mother of smiling children in their joyous home, a home that might have been your own.
No more! No more! I don't want to see it!
I told you these were shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
I am to blame for what they are. And now that I see what they might have been, I am more wretched than ever. Remove me. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Hold me no longer. Marley? Jacob? Nobody there. Such a lot of nonsense. Humbug!
Come here.
Come here and know me better, man. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
Have never walked forth with the younger members of my family, meaning, for I am very young, my elder brothers born in these later years.
Oh, I don't think I have. I'm afraid I have not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
Tremendous family to provide for, Spirit. Conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Take my arm and remember that we are invisible and unable to manifest our presence to those with whom we come in contact. Loose not your hold, lest you should lose yourself.
What has ever got your precious father then, and your brother, Tiny Tim, and Martha wasn't late last Christmas Day by half an hour?
Here's Martha, Mother. Here's Martha. Hurrah! There is such a big ghost in the oven.
I can smell it. Why, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are.
We'd a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you are come. Sit ye down before the fire, my dear, and have a warm. Lord bless ye.
No. There's Mother coming. Hide, Mother, hide.
Where have you been, you two scallywags?
Well, we're home now, Mother.
Come, Tiny Tim, and watch the pudding boil.
Who is that little boy?
You will see.
Is he sick?
In some ways, yes. In other ways, no.
What do you mean by that?
You will see.
Where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Dear Father, I could not see you disappointed. If only you were in joke.
You're a good girl, Martha, and a great comfort to us all.
And how did little Tim behave?
As good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful, sitting by himself so much, and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Tiny Tim is growing strong and hearty.
Hurrah, hurrah! Here's Pixie with the goose.
Hurrah!
And mashed potatoes and gravy.
Hurrah! Oh, look at the stuffing. Hurrah!
I don't believe there ever was such a goose as this. It's more tender than a woman's love, and only costs 2 and 6pence. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us.
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
My very words.
Man, if ye man, you be in heart, not adamant, forbear that wicked cant until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child. Oh, heaven, to hear the insect on the leaf pronouncing under too much life among his hungry brothers of the dust.
Now, Martha and Belinda, change the plates while I bring the nuts, apples, and oranges.
Here is what will remind us it is Christmas. I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day. I am sure on which one drinks the ale for such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you. Poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Mr. Scrooge.
Spirit, take me away. I see the very mention of my name casts a gloom on what, were it not for me, would be a very happy party.
Wait, they will soon put the memory of you aside and will be 10 times merrier than before, and Tiny Tim will sing.
No, no, take me home.
Oh, we forgot the pudding.
Pudding!
Let us see another place in the city.
But I know better. It is not so.
It is so, and I will not submit to contradiction.
Well, I declare, here we are, old friends, quarreling on Christmas Day. It is a shame to quarrel on Christmas Day.
So it is a shame to quarrel on this day. God love it, so it is. Come, and if we are not merry for the rest of it, it shall not be my fault.
Hey, what were you going there? My missus will let me hide if I spill this here soup.
Watch yourself, you jostle me. Do you know who my missus is? She'll let both our hides if I'm late with this here stew.
Well, so maybe I did. Begging your pardon.
Oh, that's all right then. A very Merry Christmas to you.
Spirit, is there a peculiar flavor in what you sprinkle from your hand?
There is, my own.
I noticed that you sprinkle it to restore good humor and over dinners. Would it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given, to a poor one most.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it most.
Spirit, I wonder that you, of all beings in the many worlds about us, would desire to cramp these people's opportunities of innocent enjoyment.
I?
You would deprive them of their means of dining every seventh day, often the only day on which they can be said to dine at all, wouldn't you? You seek to close these dining places on the Sabbath day, and it comes to the same thing.
I seek.
Forgive me if I am wrong. It has been done in your name, or at least in that of your family.
There are some upon this earth of yours who lay claim to know us, and who do their deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, bigotry, and selfishness in our names, who are as strange to us and all our kith and kin as if they'd never lived. Remember that, and charge their doings on themselves, not us. Let us proceed. Time is passing, and my life is hastening to an end.
Are spirits' lives so short?
My life on this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight.
He said Christmas was a humbug, as I live and breathe. Oh, and he believed it too.
Oh, more shame for him, Fred.
He is a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not as pleasant as he might be. However, his offences carry their own punishment, and I have nothing ill to say against him.
Oh, I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always told me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He don't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking that he's ever going to benefit us with it.
Oh, I have no patience with him.
Neither have I for such a stingy old wretch.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed. I think he loses a very good dinner.
A much better one than he could have served up in his dingy old chambers.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it, because I haven't great faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper?
A bachelor like myself is a wretched outcast and has no right to express an opinion on such an important subject.
Oh, do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He's such a ridiculous fellow.
Oh, I was only going to say that the consequence of our uncle taking a dislike to us and not making merry with us is, as I think, that he loses some pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. I'm sure he loses pleasanter companions than he finds in his own thoughts, either in his mouldy old office or his dusty chambers. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good humor year after year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year," if it only puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk £50, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday. Come, let us have some more music.
We must not devote the whole evening to music. Suppose we have a game?
Indeed.
Oh, a game, perfect.
Time flies. I have grown old. We must hasten on.
No, 1/2 hour, Spirit, only one.
I have a new game to propose.
Oh, what is it?
Well, it's a game called Yes and No. I am to think of something, and you are all to guess what it is. Now, I'm thinking of an animal, a live animal, an animal that growls and grunts sometimes, and talks sometimes, and lives in London, and walks about the streets. It's not made a show of. It's not led by anybody. Don't live in a menagerie. It's not a horse, cow, a donkey, or a bull. There, now guess.
Is it a pig?
No.
Is it a tiger?
No.
Is it a dog?
No.
Well, is it a cat?
No.
It's a monkey.
No.
Oh. It's a bear.
Not a bear, no.
Well, is it an agreeable animal?
No, he said it growls and it grunts.
I found it. I know what it is, Fred. I know what it is.
Well, what is it?
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
well, this is hardly fair. You ought to have said yes when I said it is a bear.
He has given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure, and it'd be ungrateful not to drink his health. Here's some mulled wine for our hand at the moment. And when you're ready, I say to Uncle Scrooge.
Well, to Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man. He would take it from me, but may have it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
Look here, old man. Look here. Look down here. Behold where graceful youth should have filled their features out and touched them with its freshest tints. His stale and shriveled hand, like that of age, has pinched and twisted them and pulled them into shreds. Where angels might have sat enthroned, devils lurk and glare out menacing. No change, no degradation, no perversions of humanity in any grade through all the mysteries of wonderful creation, as monsters have so horrible and dread.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's, and they cling to me, appealing from their fathers. This boy is ignorance, this girl is want. Beware them both in all of their degree, but most of all beware this boy, for on his brow I see it written which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it, great city, slander those who tell it ye, admit it for your factious purposes, make it worse and abide the end.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
My very words again. Can this be the spirit of Christmas yet to come that I see approaching, shrouded in a black garment which conceals its head, its form, its face, and leaves nothing visible save our one outstretched hand? I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me the shadow of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Oh, ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear you company and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? It will not speak. The hand points straight before us. Lead on. Lead on. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, spirit. There comes Stevens and there Jones. I have always made it a point to stand well in their esteem. That is, in a business point of view.
How are you?
Ah, well, pretty well. So, old Scratch has got his own at last, eh?
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he would never die.
I did not take the trouble to inquire.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
Well, it's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer. I don't mind going, if lunch is provided.
Well, I am most disinterested after all, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if anybody else will.
When I come to think of it, I'm not at all sure that I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and speak whenever we met.
Well then, I have no objections to joining you in a drink to his memory.
I am with you. Let us adjourn to the punch bowl.
To whom can these allusions refer? Jacob Marley has been dead these 7 years, and surely those whom I have considered my best friends would not speak of my death so unfeelingly. I suppose, however, that these conversations have some latent moral for my own improvement, and as I have resolved upon a change of life, I shall treasure up all I see and hear. Lead on, shadow, I follow.
You couldn't have met in a better place. Come in, come in. You were made here free long ago, you know. We ain't strangers. Stop till I shut the door of the shop. Oh, how it shrieks. There is no rusty bit of metal in place as its own hinges, I believe, and I'm sure there's no such old bones here as mine. We're all suitable to our calling. We're well matched. Come, we're at home here.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Dilbert? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
Oh, that's true indeed. No man cared for himself more than he did.
Why then, don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed, I hope not.
Very well, then, that's enough. Who's the worse for a loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed. If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, a wicked old screw, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime?
If he had been, he'd have had somebody look after him when he was struck with death instead of lying gasping out his last there alone by himself.
It's the truest word ever was spoke. It's a judgment on him.
I wish it was a little heavier judgment. And it should have been, you may depend upon it, if I could have laid my hands on anything else. Open that bundle, old Joe, and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I ain't afraid to be the first, nor not afraid to let them see it. We knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here, I believe. Open the bundle, Joe.
Oh no, we don't mind showing what we have. Here, Joe, value these.
Oh, well, yeah, seal, 8 shillings, pencil case, 3 and 6pence, pair of sleeve buttons, 1 and 5, 6, 13 is 9, 8 makes 17. That's your account, Mrs. Mangle. I wouldn't give another 6pence if I was to be biled for it. Who's next?
I hope you'll be more liberal with me, Mr. Joe. I'm a poor, lone widow, and it's hard for me to make a living.
I always get too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and that's the way I ruin myself. Underclothing, yeah, sheets, towels, sugar tongs. Oh, these teaspoons are old-fashioned, and the boots won't bear mending. £1.06, that's your account. If you asked me another penny and made it an open question, I'd repent to being liberal and knock off half a crop.
Now, undo my other bundle, Joe.
What do you call these? Bed curtains?
Bed curtains?
You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, with the old man lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
Oh, you were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold my hand when I can hold anything in it by reaching it out for the sake of such a man as he was, I promise you, Joe. Don't drop that oil upon the blanket now.
His blankets?
Whose else's do you think?
He isn't likely to take cold without 'em, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Don't you be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter around him for such things as if he did. You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
Yeah, what do you call wasting it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it isn't good enough for anything. It's as becoming to the body. Can't look uglier than he did in that one.
Well, I ruined myself again. I'll give you 2 guineas for the lot and go to the bankrupt court.
This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive to profit us when he was dead.
Hear it. I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Merciful heaven. What is this? Is there no man, woman, or child to say that this man was kind to them in this or that? And for the memory of one kind word, they would be kind to him? I understand you, Spirit, and I would look at it if I could, but I have not the power, Spirit. Oh, I have not the power. Spirit, this is a fearful place, and leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson, trust me. Let us go. This is my own case if nothing happens to change it. My life tends this way. If there is any person in this city who feels the least emotion for the death here announced, show that person to me. Why, here is my place of business, and has been occupied by Scrooge and Marley for many years. I see the house. Let me behold what I shall in the days to come. It is the old office still, the same furniture, but no one occupies my chair. Oh, someone comes.
James, I've waited for you so long. What news? Is it good or bad?
Bad.
We are quite ruined.
Well, no, there's hope yet, Caroline.
If he relents, there is. Nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened.
He's past relenting. He's dead.
Dead? Thank heaven we are saved. I pray forgiveness. I'm sorry that gave expression to the emotion of my heart. To whom will our debt be transferred?
I don't know, and I have been unable to ascertain. At all events, before that time, we shall be ready with the money, even though we were not. It would be bad fortune indeed to find so merciless a creditor and his successor. Well, we might sleep tonight with light hearts, Caroline.
Yes, and our dear children will be brighter when they find the gloom dispelled from the minds of their parents. We cannot deny that this man's death has occasioned some happiness.
Come now, let us hurry home.
Spirit, it is evident that the only emotion you can show me, caused by the event foreshadowed, is one of pleasure. Let me see some tenderness connected with the death of another, or what has just been shown me will be forever present in my mind.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them.
Where have I heard those words? I have not dreamed them. Why does he not go on?
The colour hurts my eyes.
Yes, poor Tiny Tim.
They're better now. It makes them weak by candlelight, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be near his time.
Past it, rather. But I think he has walked a little slower than he used these last few evenings, Mother.
I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed.
And so have I. Often.
And so have I.
But he was very light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. And there is your father at the door.
Hard at work, my dears. Hard at work. Why, how industrious you are, and what progress you are making. You will be done long before Sunday.
Sunday? You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. It would have done you good if you had gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child. My little child. I must tell you of the extraordinary kindness of Mr. Scrooge's nephew, whom I've scarcely seen but once, and who, meeting me in the street, and seeing that I looked just a little down, you know, inquired what had happened to distress me. On which, for he is the pleasantest spoken gentleman you ever heard, I told him, "I am heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit," he said, "and heartily sorry for your good wife." By the by, how he ever knew that, I don't know.
Knew what, my dear?
Why, that you were a good wife.
Everybody knows that.
Very well observed, my boy. I hope they do. Heartily sorry, he said, for your good wife. If I can be of service to you in any way, he said, giving me his card, that's where I live, pray come to me. Now, it wasn't for the sake of anything he might be able to do for us, so much as for his kind way, that this was quite delightful. It rarely seemed as if he had known our Tiny Tim and felt with us.
I'm sure he's a good soul.
You would be sure it, my dear, if you saw and spoke to him. I shouldn't be at all surprised, mark my words, if he got Peter a better situation.
Oh, hear that, Peter?
And then Peter will be keeping company with someone and setting up for himself.
Get along with you.
Oh, it's just as likely as not one of these days. Though there's plenty of time for that, my dear. But, however and wherever we part from one another, I am sure that none of us will forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we?
Never.
And I know, my dears, that when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it.
No.
No. Never.
I am very happy. I am very happy. Spirit of Tiny Tim, thy childish essence is from above.
Spirit, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me what man that was whom we saw lying dead. The churchyard, overrun by grass and weeds. The growth of vegetation's death, not life, choked up with too much burying. Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be? Or are they shadows of things that may be only? Man's courses will foreshadow certain ends, to which, if persevered in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it is thus with what you show me. Am I that man who lay upon the bed? No. No, Spirit, no. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been but for this intercourse. Why have shown me all that you have if I am past all hope? Good Spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I yet may change the shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart. I try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me I may sponge away the shadows of the future. Do not go. I entreat tree, Joe. It shrinks. It has collapsed. It has dwindled down into an easy chair. Yes, my own chair. My own room, and best and happiest of all, my own time before me to make amends. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, oh Jacob, on my knees. I am here. The shadow of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. I don't know what to do. I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year to all the world. Hello here. Hello. There's the saucepan that the gruel was in. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There was the spot where the ghost of Christmas present entered, and that's where the ghost of Christmas past sat. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I have been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I don't know. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Hello here. Hello. No fog. No mist. Clear, bright, jovial, cold, piping for the blood to dance to. Golden sunlight, heavenly sky, sweet fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious, glorious. Hey, you boy in your Sunday clothes. What's today? What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
You know the poulterers in the next street but one at the corner.
I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
What? The one as big as me?
Delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my boy.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it.
What do you take me for?
Oh, no. I am in earnest. Go and buy it and tell them to bring it here that I may give them the directions where to take it. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Or send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. I must write the directions for that turkey. there comes James Badger and wife, as sure as I live. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you both, and many of them.
He seems in good humour. Speak to him about it.
Going to church, eh?
We were going, sir, to hear the Christmas carols, but mindful of the obligation resting upon us, which falls due tomorrow, and of our inability to meet the payment, as we told you yesterday, we've called to beg your indulgence and ask for further extension of time.
Why, James, how much do you owe me?
£20, sir.
And how long since you contracted the debt?
5 years tomorrow, sir.
Then you have already paid me over half the amount in interest, which interest has been compounded, and I have, in fact, received more than the principal. My dear fellow, you owe me nothing. Just consider the debt cancelled.
Surely, sir, you cannot mean that.
But I do.
Oh, sir, how can we ever sufficiently manifest our gratitude for such unexpected generosity?
By saying nothing about it. Remember, James and Carolyn, this is Christmas Day, and on this day of all others, we should do unto others as we would have them do unto us.
May heaven reward you, sir. You've lightened our hearts of a heavy burden.
There. Go to church.
We shall, sir, and remember our benefactor in our devotions. I can say heartily, Merry Christmas to you.
And a Happy New Year.
I guess they're glad now that I am alive, and will be really sorry when I die. Hello! My dear gentlemen, how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness to put me down for a donation in the amount of...
Lord bless me! You take my breath away! My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you really serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me the favor?
My dear sir, I do not know what to say to such generosity.
Don't say anything, please. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Is it possible? You surprise me. I never had the least idea that you'd ever met Uncle Scrooge, much less that he was an old admirer of yours.
Oh, do tell us all about it, dear mother. I'm dying to hear it.
Well, you must know, my dear children, that Fanny Scrooge, your mother Fred, was my earliest friend and schoolmate, and through her I became acquainted with her brother, your uncle, at that time a noble, spirited boy, fresh from his studies. Our friendship soon ripened into love and a betrothal. I cannot describe to you how happy and light-hearted I was, and how true and devoted your uncle continued. Our marriage was deferred until such time as he could be in a position to provide us a suitable home. After he left Mr. Fezziwig's, where he had served his time, he entered the service of Jacob Marley, and subsequently became his partner. It was at this time I observed a change in him. He was not less ardent than before, but I I soon discovered that avarice had become the guiding passion of his nature, and that our love was subservient to its influence. Foreseeing that only misery could ensue from our union, I released him from the engagement. And now, after the lapse of many years, with the exception of the day 5 years ago when he attended your father's funeral, we have not met or exchanged a word with each other.
But, Mother, did you really love him?
I did, my dear, previous to the discovery of the change in him.
And did you not sacrifice your love in releasing him?
I merely sacrificed my desires to common sense. Love, to be lasting, must be mutual, and if it is not paramount to all other passions, it ends in misery or hate. Hence, being guided by judgment, I soon found by experience that true love can again exist if worthily bestowed.
Well, I have to agree with your estimate of Uncle Scrooge. This is the 6th Christmas day of our married life, and each Christmas Eve I have invited him to come and dine with us. But he has never yet honored us with his presence, and I suppose he never will.
Ed, may I come in?
What, bless my soul, who's that?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have accepted your invitation. Will you let me in?
Let you in? Dear heart alive, why not? Welcome, welcome. My wife, who's your niece, of course, and her mother.
Well, heavens, what shall I do?
I fear that our meeting will be painful. I shall retire.
No, no, no. This is Christmas Day. Everybody can be happy on this day that desires to be, and I know that your meeting can be made a pleasant and agreeable one if you both so will it. Peace on earth and goodwill to men is the day's golden maxim.
Although somewhat embarrassed, I concur most heartily in the wise and good-natured counsel of my dear nephew. Never before have I experienced the joys common to this day, and never hereafter will I, while I am permitted to live, shall I miss them. In the past 24 hours, I have undergone a complete revolution of ideas and desires, and have awakened unto a new life. Instead of a sordid, avaricious old man, I trust you will find a cheerful, liberal Christian, ever ready to extend his fellow creatures a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, why, Uncle, I wonder you don't go into Parliament. I can dance for joy, you dear old man. You shall ever find a hearty welcome here.
I join with my husband in earnest congratulations.
I confess, Mr. Scrooge, that I am rejoiced to find your nephew's assertions so quickly verified, and that an opportunity is offered to renew an acquaintance which I hope will end in uninterrupted friendship.
Ah, here comes Topper and your daughters. Girls, your Uncle Scrooge has come to make merry with us. This is Topper, and he's sweet on both the girls.
Oh, no, don't tease.
Come, let us lose no time. What do you say to a game? Shall it be blind man's buff?
Agreed.
Wonderful.
Come, Uncle Scrooge. The oldest goes first.
Well, do with me as you please. It is Christmas Day. Hello! Hello, Bob Cratchit. What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I am very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are? Ah, yes, I think you are.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir. You see, there was a turkey delivered.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I am not going to stand this any longer. And therefore, I am about to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have ever given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop, Bob. Make up the fires and buy another old scuttle before you dot another eye, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father.
He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world.
Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset.
Knowing that people such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes in grins, as have the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him.
He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.